The day the Earth blew up. That's right, folks. It feels like it's been a while since we've talked about the Looney Tunes on this channel, and that is a true shame. But hey, a new theatrical Looney Tunes movie, not from Warner Brothers, the first time ever, which is very weird. And it felt weird going to the cinema being like, this is gonna be a catch-up entertainment release? Okay. If you don't know, Warner Brothers is in a very weird place with a lot of their stuff. We talked about Mickey 17 last week. That is going to be dropping on streaming very soon, which is a shame in itself. But one of the big things that happen with Warner Brothers is their nulling and their killing of a lot of animation, particularly legacy animation. So at the time of this video being recorded, which is coming out on a Sunday, all of the Looney Tunes library is being taken off of HBO Max or whatever that is called now. And I'm like, what are we doing? What is happening right now? What is happening to this brand that I love? So, The Day the Earth Blew Up, it is a new Looney Tunes cartoon that was made by Warner Brothers. They sold it off to Ketchup. Ketchup's putting it in cinemas. And there is a very good chance that this is the last Looney Tunes movie to ever be released, even though it is the first feature-length film that is solely about the Looney Tunes doing Looney Tunes stuff, not including the Space Jam stuff, which is live-action hybrids and back-in-action and all that. A feature-length Looney Tunes cartoon, 2D animated, is in cinemas now. Not from the company that created them, because they sold it off, and they made an entire other Looney Tunes movie called Coyote vs. Acme that may never see the light of day, probably won't. So, a lot of caveats going into this one. It's very possible that The Day the Earth Blew Up is the last thing on a big scale we are ever going to see from these characters, which is a very insane thing to say, but that's where we are. And I do want to talk more about the Looney Tunes in a separate video. Let's just talk about the movie right away. If this isn't on your radar, and it might not be because it's not a heavily marketed film, and I understand that, if it's playing near you, I would say check it out. It's very funny and very classic Looney Tunes, which are things we don't get a lot of anymore. It feels like it's been a while, even just that a non-anime 2D animated film got released in a theater. That feels like it's been a while, and the fact that it's classic characters should just be enough of a selling point to get you out there to go see it. But I get it, these types of things, it's such a different climate that it never goes the way you want it to fully. So a film like this, while it is good and worth your attention, maybe isn't going to capture the audience it's going to want. It might just be more a nostalgia-y, older guard coming to check out this property that they remember being fond of as kids, seeing the latest entry. That's a shame in and of itself, because I think this movie would play really well to kids. It's a pretty simple premise. It is very child-friendly. It doesn't do a lot of the modern-y tropes of we gotta make them relevant and cool, like that Shrek animation we see where it's TikTok. There's one joke about being an influencer, it goes very poorly, and then everybody moves on. The Day the Earth Blew Up, it is a Porky Pig and Daffy Duck doubleheader. The two of them are teaming up, and they're gonna solve a problem that's coming over this town that they live in. Classic setup of these two guys are about to lose their home, something that is very prominent in comedy. They have to find jobs in order to pay for the repairs to keep their house together. It turns into a really big global conspiracy about something bad happening in the world. And it's just the perfect comical farce of escalating conflict and the story that you've seen before. Not an unfamiliar story to you. You can see the beats right away. You can understand the science fiction movies we're homage. You can understand the classic Looney Tunes stuff we are homaging. And this gets the job done really well. It's such an understated thing in this movie, but something I really appreciate is how we don't have any huge, big celebrity names attached to any of the voices. It is the classic voices we've seen in the modern era doing the voices for Porky and Daffy. There are other actors and there are other voice actors doing the supporting cast. I think I would argue the most notable one to maybe people familiar with this brand is Wayne Knight, who does a very small voice as the mayor of the town. But other than that, it is names you're going to know. You're not going to be upset that they're in here. It's not like Zendaya's doing Petunia Pig or anything. It's voice actors doing voice actor work. It gets me really excited that you're supporting that field. I also think the animation is very well done. Classic Looney Tunes, classic 2D animation. It's got a lot of wit and charisma to it. It looks fantastic in that aspect of the word. The characters are very beautiful, very specific. It's kind of the mix we've seen. It's not like fully classic looking Daffy and Porky, but it's also like some of the modern context that we've seen for them. They're a little more small, a little more stout. They got very specific eyes and necks and stuff. I think Daffy in particular, it's a perfect blend of a lot of the classic stuff with the modern stuff. So it can feel like you're watching a longer version of the classic stuff while maintaining and having the feel of that like really prominent new show called Looney Tunes that came out a few years ago. It blends it really well. I gotta say, it's holding itself together pretty well. Is this movie perfect? I don't think so. Some jokes don't necessarily stick the landing, but the ones that do really do. The out there comedy works. I love the whole angle of a modern movie having a conspiracy like ideology to it. Perfect for a guy like Daffy, you know, when Porky is just so obsessed with like getting this girl to like him, not losing his job, and Daffy just sees the secrets behind the scenes and nobody believes him. He's going over the top and stuff like that. It works really well. The global conspiracy stuff's really funny. The alien stuff's really funny. It works. It just works. Like, the fact that a movie like this can exist and have it not feel like it's pandering or trying to be classic, it's pretty interesting. I also appreciate the restraint to not like queue up other stuff within the Looney Tunes library. There's no egregious cameo. There's no like random joke that you've seen before. They do say like, I'm a duck who's running amok or something to that effect. It's kind of like hinting at like the classic jokes, and Daffy goes loony a bunch, which is of course just, what else are you gonna do? It's a good joke for the title of the movie. Boy, it's not like here's Bugs just like watching the events on a television freaking out. It's none of that stuff. It is just, here you go. We're doing a Porky Pig and Daffy Duck feature film. It's these two characters. Here's a new origin for them being connected and like brothers in some way. Here's the guy that's their surrogate father. Here's the world they're a part of, how the world feels about them. Here's a girl who likes Porky and they have some connection. Great use of Petunia Pig, like really weird character, works really well in this movie. And some really cool needle drops. There were some surprising needle drops I didn't think this movie, maybe not like pull off, but I just didn't think they'd have the, you know, I just didn't think they'd have the name cachet to use some of them. So that's fun. That made me smile. And it just looks beautiful. You know, unfortunately, it's not going to be for every single person out there. And I know that there are people in my life that I could be like, this is perfect for you to see. This is your brand of humor. It's your brand of comedy. It's going to work. And there's other ones where I just know, like, you're not going to give us the time of day. Which is weird because I think Looney Tunes are very universal and for everyone, and there's something you can enjoy from every aspect of that world. So it's a really weird place that they have fallen into. It's a shame that a movie this interesting and creative and fun and energetic isn't going to be like a huge summer tentpole or even like spring movie where it's like, this is for everybody. It's gonna make like 3 million domestic opening weekend and just become a cult favorite. If Ketchup decides to put it on DVD and Blu-ray, that'd be really cool. I think it would get some more audience there. The people who want to see it are going to see it. Animation nerds, Looney Tunes nerds, and sometimes it's unfortunate to say that's all you can hope for. But even though this is one of the most impressive films I've seen this year, I just wish it had a bigger impact and made something more. It is just so competent and well put together. I'm glad it exists. I'm glad I went to see it. I'm glad it stuck with the audience I saw it with. Like, everyone was just like, this is cool. This is interesting. That's really impressive. I like Porky Pig. I like Daffy Duck. They are great. The idea to do Bugs Bunny would have been so easy, but to do Porky and Daffy, that's commitment. That is you having an idea that suits these characters best and putting them into the narrative structure of a formulaic thing we've seen before. No problem with that whatsoever. You have to do that because we're making fun of things here. So it works and it looks good and I'm happy with it. And it is probably the last thing we're going to see from Looney Tunes on this scale. And it's like the first we're seeing at this scale. So that's even a bigger shame. So the day the Earth blew up, a Looney Tunes movie, I am going to give a 7 out of 10. Now, thank you all for watching this review. Be sure to like and subscribe to the channel. As always, you can check me out on Instagram, TikTok, and Twitter. And of course, I will catch you in the next one. Have fun, stay safe, good luck, and release Coyote vs. Acme. Please, just do it.